Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. It is very appreciated to see a lot of enthusiastic minds who are eager to dive deeper in the AI world. And thank you very much for you, Sharon, for Vesa, for Mati, for Adam, for having me today and to have this opportunity to share my insights. Hope this session will be valuable for you. And again, if you have any questions, just drop a message and I will try to do my best to cover everything you need to know. Yeah, I think that everybody is here because you would like to know more and more about AI, and you are not alone. I think that everybody now is talking about AI capabilities, about AI chatbot, about AI solutions, and McKinsey research proved this. A lot of companies try to adapt these capabilities, these AI features in their business, and according to their research, we can see that almost all companies are already adopt, at least for the one business function, these functionalities, or at least they are on this way. So today we are going to talk about this and how to do not drop our projects because of several reasons. Before we start going deeper, let me introduce myself. My name is Katerina Chernevskaya. I'm living in Bulgaria. I have extensive knowledge in the Power Platform domain, but since last year, we decided to combine and make synergy with AI capabilities more and more. This year, we successfully passed AI and ML specialization third-party audit for Microsoft specializations. And since this year, I could say that my project is a combination of the low-code technologies that Power Platform provide and AI capabilities that have in Azure AI Studio, in Azure Machine Learning, and still I try to use low-code approach. So today we are going to talk about this prompt flow, which I would say that more low-code option rather than semantic kernel or something like these tools. Yeah. Additionally, I'm a contributor and collaborator in the Power Platform Sample Solutions Gallery. This is outstanding place where you can find a lot of samples of not only Power Platform domain, but also SharePoint, Teams, Graph, etc. So you can get inspired by these samples. You can learn by these samples. You can use these samples in your POC, for an example. And moreover, you are very welcome to share your work in this gallery. And we have monthly Power Platform community calls, bi-weekly Power Platform community calls. So we will highlight your work, your contribution during these calls, and you will get some badges. Who love badges? Everybody loves badges. So I'm encourage you to go through this link, this one, and get familiar with it. And by the way, today we will have a monthly community call. So if you will have time, just join us. Yeah. And if you would like to continue our conversation, feel free to ping me via LinkedIn or look at my GitHub where I publish different piece of work. So let's go back to our topic. This is about AI solutions, probably about AI chatbots. And what is the point? Gartner says that by the end of the next year, about a third of our projects will be dropped due to several reasons. And our aim now, our goal is to do not be in this part of groups of people. We would like to continue to use our projects. We would like to thrive with these projects and to evolve and bring our business to new heights, right? So what is the main challenge right now? The main challenge is inaccuracy. Our chatbots or AI solutions experience some problems in provide to us accurate, relevant answers. It is due to a lot of reasons, and here we need to understand that accuracy, it is something that we need to measure, and once we measure and understand what is going wrong in the backend, then we can understand what we can fix, because there are a lot of tools that we can utilize how to fix inaccuracy. For instance, if you read a lot of how-to guides, you can see that there is a straightforward way that they suggest to you. You can start with prompt engineering, then you can use RAG, then you can use more advanced and comprehensive tool like fine-tuning. But in most projects, it is not the case. To be honest, it is more complicated and more comprehensive scenario, and you can combine different aspects and different tools for your AI solutions. And I can agree with most of these guides that we are starting with prompt engineering because it's easy, because it's fast, because you can just provide some instructions, some examples to your model and receive the answer. Once you receive answer, you need to measure it. You need to evaluate. Is it meet your expectation, your expected answer or not? Probably yes, and that's it. So you are very happy, very lucky guy, and you create your AI solution. But of course, in most cases, no. Once you evaluate the prompt result, how your AI solution perform, you can understand what is the lack of your solution. One thing, it could be lack of knowledge. So your solution needs to have more information where it could be applicable. For an example, if you create a solution that could answer about your internal documentation. We know that LLM, large language model, trained based on a lot of data, mostly public data. But of course, they do not know anything about your internal instructions, your internal documentation. So in this case, you need to provide some more context, more content to your solution. Or we also know that it is a cutting date till when the LLM model trained. After this date, LLM could know nothing, and probably you need to provide this information to your model. This is one case. Let's say your internal documentation. Another case could be about behavior of your solution, and this is another dimension, another axis. This is about how your model should act. For an example, we had a project in our company. We provided a small application which should generate birthday wishes to colleagues, but in foreign language, not in Bulgarian language, not in English language. So I do not speak that language. It is for a bank company in one country. And once we created a first version of this solution, we showed to our customer, and they said, we do not satisfied how the model answer, how the model create these birthday wishes. During this meeting, we instantly took this message, put it in the Google Translate because we do not speak their language, and translate to English. And in English, it looks fine. And they said, yes, when you translate to English, it's really good. But in our language, we do not speak like this. And it was very complicated to understand what we need to improve. We did not need to provide some dictionaries because it is not a point of translation. It is a point of something about the behavior, how we need to speak, how we need to use semantic rules, grammar rules, etc., etc. So in this case, we need to teach our model about the behavior. And this is another dimension. So let's go back. Our first attempt, prompt. We got results, and we now know how we can modify what we have in our model. In most scenarios, you do not right now go to one of the tool, RAG or fine-tune. Probably you would like to make some experiments with maybe add few shots. And in this case, it's still prompt engineering, but you try different variations. After you make some changes, like add a few shots, add examples, again, remember that you need to make evaluation. You need to make not only evaluation based on the comparison what did not work, but you also need to do some kind of regression testing. So you need to understand and be sure that you did not broke some capabilities, some features that was working before you make these changes. It is a common scenario when we build application like in ProCode or in Power Platform. We make regression tests. In AI solutions, the situation is the same. You make changes, you need to evaluate, you need to see results, and you should not forget about regression tests. After a few shots, again, you have measurement results, and you can make data-driven decisions. You can understand what you need to do. You need to fine-tune your model, tune this behavior, or you need to provide some more information. It is a funny example that we can illustrate these different 2 dimensions. Remember how you pass exams at your school. There is only 2 options how you can be success. You can cheating or teaching, right? So, for instance, if you complete all classes, you going to your school during 6 months or 1 year, you interact with your teacher repeatedly provide you information, explanation, how to use this knowledge, etc. You gain learning memory, and we call this like a fine-tuning. So you can pass because you know how to act in this scenario. Another case, how you can be successful in the exam, let's imagine that you can use your notebook with all information, and based on the question, you can look at the notebook, find the right information, and just present to your teacher. In this case, it is a context optimization. So we know where to search answer, we can extract this answer, and we can present answer. Let's assume that we are going as a second step. We would like to add some data. For example, we are building AI solution for our internal documentation. So we add data, we tune our search engine, we extract this data. Again, we evaluate how our model answer, and probably after that, we would like to stop because we are satisfied with this result. Some of our project, to be honest, stop right there because it's enough. We provide documentation, we build very good prompt, we tune parameters of the model, and that's enough. But in any cases, it couldn't be enough, and you go further. And in this case, you probably would like to fine-tune your model because you probably would like to decrease the prompt. You know that what we are putting in the prompt, these words, sentences, it's tokenized and it converts to tokens, and we pay for these tokens. Probably you would like to decrease these instructions, these examples, and put them in the sample, let's say a list of 50 questions and answers, and fine-tune your model. Probably you would like to teach how to answer for particular questions, and maybe it will be the case for you. After fine-tune, we again need to make evaluation, we again need to measure our results, we again need to provide regression tests, and probably we will be happy or decide that we need to add maybe some fact-checking steps, and maybe tune the retrieval to add some additional information to achieve high accuracy to our model. So what I want to say here, that it is not like a straightforward way without step backs. It is a combination of tools that you can acquire for improving accuracy for your models. And by the way, if we are talking about RAG, it is not so straightforward again, because RAG can add additional dimension for you. For instance, when you add information to the data source, your AI solution can crash in 2 additional reasons. Your retrieval agent could crash because you did not specify precisely chunking, you maybe did not select appropriate model, how to vectorize data or how to extract data, or maybe it is a problem in the LLM, how to formulate or generate answer based on provided information. So there is additional dimension, and you need to keep in mind that each step in your AI solution should be verified and validated during the deployment process. This is what is happening once you are building AI solution in most cases. But what in most cases is forgettable, it is a user intent. There are a lot of scenarios when we should make some pre-work when we acquire different tools like prompt engineering, like RAG, like fine-tune, or combination of these tools. And let's talk about it. When the user intent classification is important and should be like a pre-step in our scenario. For example, we have a closed list of our question and answers. We pre-recorded these answers, and we need to provide this hard-coded value without any hallucinations, without any variations. If you remember, several years ago, Microsoft had Q&A Maker. It is like the same scenario. Q&A Maker was able to answer questions and identify user intent with some synonymous. It was like a young brother of current our solutions. So, for an example, if you have questions, you assume that your users can have questions about working hours of your company. Probably you do not need to involve RAG or something like this, put information in the prompt, and make latency of the answer very high. Probably it's enough to have a dictionary with this information and provide just working hours based on the user response. So if we identify correct intent on the beginning of our AI solution, it could save time, money, and improve user experience and satisfaction. Another case could be if we have questions about different knowledge areas, but these questions could sound similar. For an example, it is a common situation in banks. Users can ask, what is the card service fee? But there are a lot of different cards that bank can provide: debit or credit cards, gold, not gold, for kids, not for kids, for adults, etc., etc. And to be more precisely by answering this question before looking to the internal documentation, internal requirements, for an example, we need to classify which type of card user would like to know about, credit or debit or something like this. So we need to classify user intent before proceed with RAG, with fine-tune, and so on. Another scenario, maybe you have questions that should not be proceed through AI at all. Maybe there are some questions with sensitive information that should be redirected directly to the employee. And in this case, again, we should not involve RAG, fine-tune, prompt engineering. We just need to classify it and proceed to the channel with an employee. For an example, if I lost my credit card, I do not need chatbot. I would like immediately have call with a human to assist to block this card or something like this. Another common scenario when it is a complex math expressions. You know that general LLM model is not so good in math. So in this case, if I would like to ask my solution again about bank scenario, what is the service, what card is better for me? Cost less money, for example, or provide more services? It is about calculation. We need extract information, we need to sort this information, we need maybe make some expressions, etc. It is not a good option to proceed with LLM. It is a good option to acquire agents. So in this case, when we identify intent and classify it, we need to proceed with agents. And last but not least, in some cases, it is a good option to count how many times people interact with chatbot. For an example, if a user asks a lot of questions in a sequence, it probably means that he does not receive the answer, and probably we need to involve a human to help him or her. Or it is just a playing, and this user just playing with the chatbot, and we need somehow to manage it. So there are a lot of scenarios. It's just example in your business, in your cases. It could be more examples, and that's why it is important to have a tool that could process the user intent before we involve some comprehensive tools. And here, where prompt flow is come and provide you a lot of benefits to create this solution. What is it? Initially, Prompt Flow was announced in Azure Machine Learning Studio, and we started work in Azure Machine Learning Studio, but now in Azure AI Studio, it's available, in general available. So during our demonstration, we are going to use Azure AI Studio, but the capabilities are almost the same. So prompt flow is a sequence of steps that you can configure, similarly like you configure steps in the prompt flow. So if you're familiar with prompt flow, with Power Automate, sorry, yes, you will be. It will be easier for you to learn how to work with prompt flow. Additionally, Prompt Flow provides you interface, graphical interface and code interface and the chat interface where you can instantly test your model, how it interacts, how it responds, and maybe tune some steps if required. What is more important, we talk about evaluation. You need to evaluate how your model perform after each customization, and also you need to make regression tests to be sure that you did not break anything during your customization. With Prompt Flow, you can create evaluation data set with with list of questions and expected answers pairs, and then you will be able to upload this data set, evaluation data set, and ask the model to verify itself how it performs. In this case, the model will provide answers to each question, and after that compare model's answer with your expected answers and say that, okay, in this case, for these questions, I performed well from 1 to 5 on 5, or to these questions, I didn't find correct information, so you will need to investigate these particular cases. And in our projects, there were such cases when we saw when the model performed not so good, we went to the data set, training data set, and we understood that there is no information for this particular question. So we need to add some information to our model because our model wasn't trained to this particular area. So it is a combination of manual and automatical work, but initial work to perform for list of questions Prompt Flow provide you. And last but not least, Prompt Flow could be deployed as endpoint and provide you API. So it is very easy to integrate this Prompt Flow in whatever UI you are using in Teams, in Copilot Studio, in web applications. And by the way, in Copilot Studio is a very good orchestrator when you need to have a nice user interface and something heavily on the backend rather than Copilot Studio provides. If we are talking about components, there are three main components in the prompt flow: connections, runtimes, or compute, and tools. Connections, it's essential bridge that provides interaction between your prompt flow and tools or services that you are using. Core services with which I think that you will make these connections more often. There are AI search, because in the AI search you can generate index and search information in the AI search. Azure OpenAI or AI services, and probably Azure Blob Storage, where you are collecting your data. Runtime or compute allows you to execute your prompt flow, execute evaluations, create endpoints, and run this endpoint. And tools, mainly three tools you are going to use. This is LLM, Python, and Prompt, but also it is possible to use other tools. We are going to see it in a minute. So now let's see Prompt in action, and let me switch to the demonstration and find. Yes, this is Azure subscription. Let's assume that you already know how to create Azure services. It's pretty easy. If no, Microsoft has extensive documentation that provide you essential knowledge how to do this. To work with Prompt Flow, basically you will need to create Azure AI Hub, And in each AI hub, you will need to create at least one AI project. AI hub is like a workspace where you can create multiple projects based on your project needs or based on your divisions, how you organized in your company, etc. Also, it is worth to create Azure OpenAI and deploy required models, for example, GPT-4 or other, if you would like to make vectorizations, etc. Key Vault, essential tool to collect your secrets and keys. Azure Application Insights will collect telemetry, and afterward you will be able to extract this telemetry and create maybe Power BI report, maybe other kind of report, and understand how your users work with this AI solution, how AI solution provide information, how it extracts chunks, maybe how long it provides answers, how many tokens you utilize because you are paying for tokens, etc. So Azure Application Insights is like a treasure of trove, and you should not forget about it. Yeah, let's assume we already created these resources and we need to open this Azure AI project. I already opened it, and what we have here on the left pane, we have a lot of resources that you can utilize in your projects. If you are going to these settings, you will be able to create connections. It is very easy to create connections right there. So you can create new connections, select what kind of connection you would like to create. Let's say Azure OpenAI service, select already created Azure OpenAI service and just click connect and everything will be there. What is the main topic for us today? It is a prompt flow. So for the prompt flow, we need to go there. If you create from scratch this AI project, you won't have any prompt flow right there. I have already 3, and we will see how to work with them. Before we start create a prompt flow, let me show you what we have inside. Let's collapse the left-hand pane. So as I said, prompt flow is like a flow in Power Automate. We have a sequence of steps, and you need to specify how these steps will be going, what is first, what is next, etc. Each prompt flow should have input, each prompt flow should have output. Input, what we receive as input. In this kind of prompt flow, we have chat history because it's a history-aware prompt flow, so it could provide context for the conversation. And we have question. This is particularly query that user sends in the UI, like I would like to know about my bonus or layoff period or something like this. You can specify a lot of variables as an input or output as you need. Just click create a new variable, provide the name, provide the type of this variable, and probably you would like to provide value if you would like to hard code this value. Outputs, it's something that this prompt flow sends to the UI, to your user. So between input and output, we provide all required tools or required steps to proceed with our solution. In our case, we are focusing on identify user intent, and this is very important. So in this demonstration, we have 2-step classification. And for this demonstration, I'm using the classificator with 5 main topics. It is like for internal usage, and employees can ask questions about IT. For example, my monitor is broken, I don't have internet. Well, I can't ask this question if I don't have internet, right? But nevertheless, maybe they would like to ask about the salary, maybe they would like to provide feedback, etc., etc. And for these different topics, we need to provide different behavior of our chatbot. So it is not need to involve a RAG, fine-tune. So we need to classify for these topics. After that, we need also to classify for subtopic, and this is a main goal for this demonstration. So we have first layer classification for our 5 topics, and here we utilize GPT model, in this case GPT-4 model. Once we have information, we put this information in the output of this action, and we can use this information as input to the next actions, to the next tools. And here on the graphical interface, you can see that we are going to use only one of these 5 branches, because after initial classification, we classified that this question could be related to the IT help desk category. And that's why we are going here, and these other 4 categories was skipped. So after that, we can utilize Python scripts to check if we have subcategory and then generate the answer. So basically, in the prompt flow, you can select tools, whatever you would like to use, like add LLM option, add prompt tool, add Python tool, or add some additional tools. Everything that you create on the left hand has this with text explanation, but also on the right hand you have this graphical visualization, and you can use this graphical visualization to understand how your flow is going on. Additionally, you have files, which is very important, because everything that you can put inside this prompt flow reflect as a file, and you can download all this code, and then if you would like to share with your colleagues or with your client, with your partner, you just provide this zip file to your colleague, and they will be able to import this flow in their instance and continue to work with this flow by their own. So these files are crucial as well. So if we would like to create a prompt flow, let's open in the New tab. We just simply click on the Create button. If you are not familiar with prompt flow yet, it is a very good option to explore the gallery, because in this gallery you have a lot of interesting samples that already have a lot of tools inside and provide you some capabilities. So you can start with templates, explore how these templates are working, customize these templates, and then you will gain knowledge. Or you can start from scratch, or you can upload zip file if you received this zip file from your colleague. The main types of flows are 3. Standard flow, it's just a number of sequence with input, with output, so you can specify whatever you need in the standard flow. Chat flow is like a standard, but with context aware, so we can provide history about from the conversation, and this history could be utilized in the activities inside your flow. And evaluation, this flow evaluate how good performance is for your flow. It is what I explained when you have a list of questions and expected answers. You can upload this question and create like this evaluation flow, and the model will be self-evaluate. And after that, you will get information about the performance and then go deeper, maybe manually, maybe automatically, whatever you would like. So let's create a chat flow. Let's name it. It should be unique name per project. So I will tell that it will be KCH demo, and we click create. It will be created with input, output, and one step in the middle. So this is chat. This is very like a simple flow. So what you can do, you can specify additional variables. So for example, this var, you can specify string or whatever it should be, and you can design your flow. Before you start doing anything inside your flow, I recommend you start compute session, because when you create a new step in new tool, it is very important to validate this tool, and without compute instance you can't validate this tool. For compute instance, you can use almost the cheapest virtual machine. The cheapest one is not so good, and you will see a warning. So in this case, we are going to use this one. It is better to keep turn on ideal shutdown time, because after this shutdown time, this virtual machine will be automatically shut down, and you won't continue to pay for it. Even if it's a cheap one, it's 10 cents per hour. I don't think that you would like to pay for days for this virtual machine. The minimum time, it is 20 minutes. So I can select, for example, 90 minutes, only 20 minutes, it's a minimum time. So let's select 20. Then just click next, and apply. It takes 1 or 3 minutes. It states here, but in some cases it could take longer. So that's why we create, we run this compute instance right now, and then let's proceed. So in this chat step, this is LLM step, this one. Here we can specify prompts, we can specify a model that we are going to use, and whatever we need. First of all, let's connect to the Azure OpenAI. I already created a connection before, so that's why I have this connection. And using this connection, I can use my GPT-4 model. So I can specify this model right there when it will be load for me. By the way, here you can see parameters. It is very familiar when you set up or configure GPT models, so you can customize it right there. And you can customize prompt. I already prepared some text that we are going to use, just to do not typing long time. And just let's replace this one. So it will be a system prompt. This prompt will just categorize my intent by 5 main categories right there. And this, we are using chat history because if your user asks a question, then the user would like to clarify this question. It is better to keep in mind the context for the AI solution, keep in mind, yes. And what we have here, for each item in the chat history, our variable where we store the history of the conversation, the user statement is located in the item.input.question. So in the question, located our user question, and what a model answered, it located in the answer in the output. So we process all this history just to understand in the prompt. And current user question, this will be located in the variable question. Once compute session will be started, we will have this blue button, validate and parse input, and this will validate all our variables that we have here and provide these variables in the bottom. Because this pre-built action, we already have these actions, these variables, question and history, and we can specify, okay, for question, I would like to provide information that that goes from my input.question. So this one, it is input and variable question. And for history, it is input chat history, this one. Now we can add additional LLM step and call it, for example, IT help desk, no spaces in the name. So IT help desk. And now you can see that we do not have anything here like processed data. I can set up a connection again, provide my GPT-4 model, and here I can provide the text. So where is, yes, this is here. I can provide the text to classify. It is a second level classification. And for this classification, I can keep user question, or if I would like, I can keep not only user question, I can keep chat history as well, just to provide information or for my model. Yeah. What is going now? Now we create additional LLM step just to show you how to make branches. It will be HR procedure. Okay. So we again create the connection. Yes. We again change the system prompt and copy history right there. And once we are waiting, I'm going to show you how to use variables inside the system prompt. For instance, when we have this initial classification step, we should classify for 5 categories. It could be internal HR procedures, IT help desk, etc., etc. This name will be storing as an output from my chat activity. And in this case, let me explain where we have a compute instance already run. So in this case, we have initial classification step, like our chat has. And this name will be stored as an output. When we are going to the next level classification in the IT help desk, we can put this variable into curly brackets and put just the name of our action, this one, initial classification. And once we make any changes, what I wanted to show you, so I made changes, my compute instance already run, I will have this blue button. When I click on this blue button, it will be parse all content and extract all variables that you have here. And for instance, here I have my initial classification variable, this one, my chat history variable, this one, and my question variable, this one. And allow me to provide information from which output of which actions I need to provide data for these variables. I already provided like this. How we can create these branches? For this IT help desk, we can open this active configuration category and provide that when the information in the initial classification output, this information that we provided here, will be equal to this value. In our case, it's help desk, and this value is the type of string, but you can specify whatever type you need. Only in this case, this tool will be triggered. Otherwise, it will be skipped, as we see in this, because these tools are configured as well. But you can see that the name of the value of this value is different. So in this case, we can configure whatever we want in the prompt flow and create some additional steps. It is in Python code, so you can inquire your colleagues who are familiar in Python if you are not. And what we are doing here, we just see if we have any subcategories. If we save the subcategory in the output. If no, we save none. And then we generate answer, because if we identify category and subcategory, it could be in one form answer. If we identify only category without subcategory, it could be another form of answer. So we generate this answer. You can chat, open the chat, and I already have predefined a question. For example, hey, my mouse is disappeared, and you can send. And in this chat, you can see how your all actions are working in this prompt flow. It is working a little bit slowly, to be honest. When you integrate this prompt flow with your UI, it will provide information for you quicker. But nevertheless, here you can see initial information that this amount of tokens was utilized, and the answer was generated in this amount of time. Additionally, in each action in the prompt flow, you can expand the output and see what was in input in this action, in this try, and what was an output. It is a good option to just to quick test. But what if you need to proceed with evaluation with a lot of questions like 100, 200, 500, etc. Here, when you're still running compute session, you can expand evaluate, run automated evaluation. You will need to save. I didn't save, that's why I have this confirmation. Specify evaluation name with context or without context. let's say without context. Then you can specify which type of flow you are going to evaluate, because I have several flows you can select. If you have different variants of the prompts, you will be able to select variants here as well. Proceed next, and you can select a data set if this data set already uploaded. This data set should include 3 columns. The first column, history. If you provide a context, you need to put the context here. Otherwise, you need to put empty brackets. Question and expected answer. We expect that our model should answer this. Then for history, we specify column history. For question, we specify column question. Then you can select metrics. Not only similarity could be selected, but also fluency and coherence and FR1 score. And select the model that should be utilized for this GPT similarity comparison. And then very important thing, you need to mapping ground truth and answer. So for question, it's very obvious, of course, from our data set, it goes from the question column. Answer, it is answer that generates model. It is not our expected answer. It is answer by model. That's why we are going to use flow output, which is variable answer. And ground truth, this is what we expect our model will answer. Then you click next, and then you click submit, and it takes 5-10 minutes, depends on how many rows you have. But I can show you how the evaluation result could look like. First of all, you can export this result to the CSV file and then proceed to analyze in more convenient tool. Also, you will see this graphical interface. So similarity is not so good. Out of 5, we have almost 4, which should be improved somehow. And then for each row from my evaluation data set, I see my question, answer from the model, and my expected answer. And I can see, okay, here we have 5. It is not so interesting, it's good. But if you sort 1-1, you can identify, okay, here for this question, my model gave wrong answer, or maybe in your data set, it isn't enough information to provide this answer. So you can explore and see in more details. Okay, we have, I think, 2 minutes, and this is my almost the last slide. Let's summarize. So, in comparison with more comprehensive tools like RAG, fine-tune, prompt engineering, before them, you need to understand if you need this processing, if you need to acquire intent and understand this intent of the user questions. And if yes, then probably you need to specify different behavior for your AI application. You can utilize prompt flow to extract the user interface. You can set up these branches. You can set up different activities based on user intent. And also you have these extensive tools to measure how many tokens you are using, how long you receive these questions, make regression tests, and deploy this prompt flow for your endpoint and utilize using API in your UI. Thank you very much for being with me. And if you will have any questions, just ping me a message here in the chat or via LinkedIn, and go to the Per Platform Sample Solutions Gallery and share your experience. You will have badges. Everybody loves badges, and moreover, we love feedbacks. So I encourage you to send a feedback regarding this session, because we learn based on your feedbacks. And if you would like to improve something in my speech in this event, it will be very valuable for us. So let's evaluate, let's measure, and let's make it better. Thank you so much. And that's all from my side. And probably we can see if we have questions.